Hey, I'm Webster, and today we're going to be looking at all the roles you'll need for your WWE tryout. My name is Webster, and I'm one of the first Welshmen to ever hold gold in the WWE. I am also a former TNA World Tag Team Champion. I was in the Dusty Classic, and I've won every championship you can imagine across Europe. So you've got a WWE tryout. This is scary, exciting, nerve-wracking. I understand it. I've been there myself. I remember when I got my WWE tryout email and I was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna cover? And I spoke to my good friend Pete Dunn, who'd had his tryout the year before me, and he gave me some tips and some tricks. And those tips were, you're gonna smash it. You already know all the stuff you're gonna cover. And although that wasn't a lot of help, he was right. Luckily for me, I've trained with some of the best. I've wrestled all over the world. And most of the stuff we did at the WWE tryouts, I had actually covered and had done in the past. But I know that not everybody is going to have the experience I do. They're not going to have the longevity I do. They're not going to have the training that I had. So today, I'm going to go through all the roles you're going to need for your WWE tryout. The first one we're going to look at is a front roll. So I've got Benjamin Harlan here that's going to demonstrate for me today. We're going to have a look first at front rolls. The first thing they have you do when you get in the ring. And we're going to talk about it, we're going to roll through it, and we're just going to talk about some of the fundamentals they look for during the WWE tryout. So, Hans, you give me a front roll, you come down, you come up, perfect. Now, that's fantastic, really good front roll. One of the things they look for in WWE tryout, and you've probably all seen the videos of William Regal absolutely losing his mind during that tryout.
Speak plain English, does everybody understand what your left foot is?
Yes, sir.
Step forward with your left foot. How many times do you have to be told this?
He's going to do that roll again. After he completes that roll, he's going to step forward with his left. Cool. Right, so one of the things here is he's stepping forward with his left. What he's not doing, so put your leg back for me, please. What he's not doing is he's not stepping back with his right. So that's a big thing that we see all the time. People are here like this, and they come up with these rolls, and then they step back with that right. We've all seen that video of Regal, as I said, losing his mind, going crazy. It's because everybody on those rolls are stepping back with that right, and then they think because that left foot is forward, that's correct. They don't want that. They want to see you step forward with that left. The other thing people do as well is they'll end up doing a split jump, so they'll jump and do it. Can you do that for me? Again, that is incorrect. They will not want that in your tryout, because again, you're not stepping forward with that left, we are splitting that stance. And the reason they want you stepping forward with that left is because they have so many people come through the performance center, through these tryouts, that are NBA stars, NFL stars, social media influencers, gymnastics, cheerleaders. It goes on and on and on. They're not combat sport athletes. And if we want to have a look at wrestling, we take it far, far back. Wrestling really is adopted from boxing and the way we stand there. So when we stand in an orthodox fighting stance, so if me and Ben Harlan, we're going to stand here in an orthodox fighting stance, we're here like this, left foot is forwards, right arm is cocked back. But also, if we're going to be looking at wrestling in general, and that's wrestling, if we're going to lock up, bam, that left foot is forward. So when they take loads of people from those different fields, gymnastics, cheerleading, so on, they are literally trying to build you and make you a wrestler from the ground up. Feet ground up. So that is why they're saying, we need you to roll, we need you to step forward, and we need to start to see if you can understand these basic things and start to see if you are coachable. That's the big thing for WWE. They want to see if you're coachable.
Good.
Hey, that to me means you're coachable. Hell of a job.
Hell of a job.
And we can transfer those skills. So what we're going to have here is Ben Harlan's going to do it one more time for me. He's going to roll, he's going to step forward with that left, he's then going to step back into a neutral stance, and then he's going to roll again, and he's putting it real close up to that camera. Good. Oh yeah, good. Second roll they're going to look for here is you're going to look for shoulder rolls. Whether that's a right or a left, we're going to cover both of those. And the footwork again is key. The other thing we need from these as well is they need to be nice and quiet. Rings make noise. But when we're wrestling, the only noise we really want to hear is we don't want to hear those footsteps, we don't want to hear those rolls, we want to hear the bumps. So the way we combat that is by making sure that everything is nice and quiet. So we're going to have a look at, to start off with, the right shoulder roll, and we're going to have a look at that footwork as well and how that feeds into everything. Right foot is forward, so they come up, and now we're in this right stance here. That right foot is forward, but of course, as we said, left foot needs to be forward. So what Jack Nance is going to do is he's going to step forward. He's there, perfect. And of course, they'll probably want 2 or 3 from this because The WWE rings are 20 foot, they're quite big. So with this, he will track back once, and then he's in it, and straight into that right, and then just step forward once again. Fantastic. And that's your right shoulder roll for WWE Tryout. Now we're going to look at the left shoulder roll. Now, the reason we looked at the right first is because the right has a lot more intricate footwork, because as we come up, of course, that right foot is forward, we've got to step forward with that left. With the left shoulder roll, it's a little bit easier. So when we come up, that left foot should already be in place. Now these are some of the things on my WWE Tryout that people got wrong. People were rolling up with that left and then they instantly thought that they had to step forward with that right then, but you're already in the position. They don't need you to step forward. That's not what they're trying to get you to do. They're trying to get you to end up in a orthodox fighting stance or in that lock-up position from the start. So with this one, it's a lot easier. We're going to roll with that left and we're going to end up in the position we need to be, and we can usually take off and go straight in to one more left shoulder roll, as Jack Nutson's going to show us here. So he's going to give us the left shoulder roll, he's going to come up. As we can see, we're already in this left stance here, fantastic. So he doesn't need to go anywhere here. He doesn't need to step back, he doesn't need to step forward that right for me a second. Doesn't need to do that. No. Throw that X up, not good. So what he needs to do here, he's already in that position, so he can just take off again. And we're back in that stance. And that is a left shoulder roll for your WWE Tryout. So one of the other rolls they'll look for at a WWE Tryout is a back roll. Now there's a few different variations with how you do this. There's a standard back roll, there's a wide back roll, and there's a high back roll. They all have different principles in wrestling, and I'll cover that in another video. But for today, we're just going to look at the footwork and how we get into them and what they'll be looking for during that tryout. So we're going to have a look at the standard back roll. Things they really hate in WWE is most people get into this back roll and they'll put their hands here. Keep those hands off those ropes. One of the things they keep pushing, and they'll say this a lot as well. Matt Bloom, A-Train, Big Albert, one thing he hates is they usually re-tape these ropes. They tape them for maybe a SmackDown taping or an NXT taping, and you've got greasy, oily hands, and you're going to be touching them, and they're going to get dirty, and they're going to get really angry at that. So they tell you not to touch them. But again, our instincts is to put our hands on those ropes. So when we get in for this back roll, we don't do that. We're going to set ourselves up by looking at the turnbuckle there. Benjamin here is going to make himself nice and small, and he's going to roll himself all the way backwards by tucking that chin, and he's going to end up on his feet in the standard position like he is now. Cool, there we are. We're in a neutral position here. So of course, what do you think we're going to have to do?
Left foot forward.
Left foot forward, so that's what we do. We're going to step forward with our left. Cool, fantastic. Didn't step forward, didn't step back with his right, didn't split the stance. He just stepped forward with his left. So again, that is a standard back roll. Now we're going to have a look at the wide. So if we can give us a wide here. We're going to backwards roll. We're going to end up in a split stance. But this is where the footwork becomes really tricky. And I say really tricky for someone who, like myself, Benjamin, Jack Nutson, who have all been wrestling for many years. It's a little bit easier, but for those people who are going to be at the WWE Tryout and maybe you're nervous, you haven't done this before, this is a little tip that will help make sure that you nail it on the first attempt. So he's going to backwards roll with some wide legs. And now our legs are all left wrong. So if he was to step forward with our left, he would lose all his balance, right? So what he's going to do is he needs to get a nice, strong, neutral stance first. So he's going to step in with that right first. So he's going to step in, and then he's going to step forward with our left. Perfect. So with that, we're going to be nice and wide. We're going to step in with our right, and then forward with our left. So we're not stepping back. We're just putting ourselves into a neutral stance, and then we're stepping forward with our left. One more time for me, please, Benjamin Harlan. Step in with our right and forward our left. Fantastic. Look at that. Big, strong, big, tall. That's exactly what they want when you're doing a wide leg and a WWE Tryout. This is now a high. Again, we're going to talk about in other videos why we do these, but today we're just going to cover our footwork and what we need to be looking for when we do these on a WWE Tryout. So Benjamin Harlan's going to give me a nice high back roll here. Perfect, and forward his left, fantastic. Didn't have to be told, straight on. Landed, nice neutral stance. You literally landed, boom, landed that foot was back here. Nice neutral stance, and he just stepped forward. One of the things he's doing great here that Robbie Brookside, one of the coaches at the PC, always says is when we come up, some people just step forward with that left, and they have no intent. So we want to be looking to get those hands up, want to get those arms up, and we want to look like fighters. Might sound simple, but it's something that I was taught when I was at WWE, and it really just changed my entire presentation on how I viewed myself. So it's really good that you're coming up there and we're getting that left foot forward, but we're getting those hands up as well. Fantastic. And that right there is all three variations of a back roll you'll need for WWE Tryout. Okay, so one of the other drills that I have you do is we like to call it the 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, Robbie Brookside. did that. So we're going to look at how we do it, the principles behind it, and then we're going to have a look at the practical application for that as well. So with this, we're going to roll, but we're going to have a look at a bit of body control. So not always when you roll, you come up to your feet. Sometimes somebody might snap near you, and they might snap near you to their back. So you can tap like here, might snap near you to your back, and I want him nice and flat. So again, part of that is obviously me having control of that head, but part of that is also him having good body control. So they'll want to see stuff like that too. They want to see if, hey, maybe you can roll to feet, but maybe you can also need to be able to stop yourself at your back, stop yourself at your butt. We need to see that you can control all that. And that's stuff they'll be looking out for and ticking on their little clipboards. So Jack Nelson here is going to roll flat to his back. Perfect. From here, he's going to push himself up into a tabletop position. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4s. So the way to remember this, it is always start with that left leg, and the leg always goes under. So we're going to do this nice and slow. So left leg under, yeah, and he's going to spin his body over, perfect. Leg is always under, never over. Show me an over, for example, if you can. Yep, that's incorrect. So now this right leg will go under, yep, and left under, right under, perfect. So if we go back to the beginning again, yep, there we go. So it should look, when we go nice and fast, and we count them, it should look a bit like this. Go, 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. And back, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we go back the way we came, then we start with the right goes under, but again, it's always under, it's never over. And then of course, they'll ask then for you to present yourself and get up. Now we have some different variations here. We can look at the wrestler get up. So we're going to tuck down the under, and we come up, perfect. Left leg is forward, back down again for me. So you're going to tuck that right leg under, left leg is forward, and he's up straight in to that wrestler stance. They're looking for all these things. They want to see if you can nail that wrestler stance from every direction. The other thing they might ask for is they might just say to you, get up any way you want from there. Of course, that is giving you a bit of creative freedom. So if he's led down for a second, maybe someone like a Jack Nelson might look at maybe nipping up to his feet. But the moment he nips up, he's going to be looking at stepping forward with that left. One more time. He's going to look at nip up to his feet. And he step forward with that left. Perfect. Again, they might give you a bit of creative freedom, but they want to see if you can have that creative freedom and have it flow into the instructions that they're giving you for the rest of the day. And that right there is the 1, 2, 3, 4 that they'll be asking for at a WWE Tryout. Okay, so the last and final roll that they'll expect to see from you on your WWE Tryout is more of a body control. So we did the front roll earlier on, but this time we're going to add in a little twist. And when I say twist, I mean twist. So Jack Nelson here is going to complete a forward roll, and then he's going to jump into the air and complete a 360, land in the exact same space, and then continuing that forward roll again. So, Jack. Perfect. Coming forward with our left foot, yet again. Of course, they can also ask you as well to complete it many different ways. So it might be a 360 spin, it might be a 180 spin, it might be a 720 spin, it might be 90 degrees. But if it is 180, they might ask you to do a forward roll and then a back roll. So with this, Jack Nelson is going to roll 180 and then he's going to complete a backwards roll. And that right there is all the rolls you'll need to learn for your WWE Tryout. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe below. Check out the shorts here, our free matches here, and bye. Thanks for stopping by.